Hey guys, it's obviously, Luke Mick here, and I'm done apologizing. I'm late on these movie reviews, I know it, and I'm about to be back on track. I just have to see the One Direction movie and Riddick, and I'll be back into it. I'm gonna go see Insidious on Thursday night, most likely, so that's good. But as of right now, I'm going to be reviewing for you a pretty old movie. It came out before the world's end, one of my favorites of the year. And this movie that I'm going to be reviewing for you right now is The Mortal Instruments: City of Bones. So The Mortal Instruments: City of Bones is a movie that I obviously have been kind of just pushing back a lot. I haven't really gotten to go see it, obviously, and I finally just got the urge to just go out and see it because I was worried that it would maybe leave theaters soon, and I really just wanted to get it off of the checklist. So yesterday, I went to my theater and I watched it. And, going into it, I don't think I've really seen a trailer, and if I have, I don't remember anything about it. I mean, I've seen the TV commercials, but that's about it. So I didn't know if this movie was taking place on Earth or some mystical land with horses. I really didn't know exactly what to expect in that sense. But mostly I knew it was just a Twilight ripoff kind of thing, like Beautiful Creatures. So, yeah. And one other thing I have to mention before I really get into the review is that I'm a complete jackass. I was about 4 to 5 minutes late for this movie, so I missed the opening credits and I'm sure some little dialogue things in the beginning. And that's because I was actually driving to the theater and I wanted a little different way that other people use that I was kind of testing out, and I got lost along the way. I ended up at one of the high schools in my city, and I was like, what the hell, where am I? So I had to backtrack and then go back the way I knew. So I lost some time on the way to the theater. Anyways, let's just jump into the review. The story is basically about a girl, Lily Collins, who finds out that she has these sort of mystical supernatural powers, and this guy, I don't know, his name was Jace, I think, kind of like Dragon Ball Z almost. Anyways, this guy, let's just say he's Jace. This guy is sort of introducing her to all of her new powers, and those two are going to go set out and find her mom, who was kidnapped in the beginning of the movie. And basically they have to do that and then find this Holy Grail looking thing. I don't really know why exactly. They weren't really clear on that. Maybe I missed something from the beginning, but I highly doubt it. A lot of stuff in the movie did kind of just happen, and you were just there to watch it. I mean, you just kind of felt disconnected the whole time for the story. I didn't think it was bad, but it wasn't good. It's just sort of your run-of-the-mill kind of Twilight ripoff story. It's nothing special. So, story, it's alright, what were you really expecting is the real question. So let's talk about the performances. I want to first talk about Lily Collins. She just seemed to really be overacting in this movie. A lot of her dialogue and a lot of the lines she delivered just felt very awkward and forced. I really didn't like it. And and even her, body language just felt really off. She just seemed weird in the role. Like, I mean, she's fine to look at, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think she's a very good actress, and she just looks weird in the movie. Like, she's always standing there like this, like, I don't even know what I just did, but I don't know, that's just sort of my interpretation of what she does in the movie. And then you have that Jace guy I mentioned. He's just sort of your, classic, super sexy, supernatural being that is there to be the kind of the grasp of the movie, the one who she falls in love with pretty much. And he's not that great of an actor either. I mean, he just kind of gives your typical pretty boy performance, you know, it's kind of things we've seen before. It's just sort of what we've come to expect in movies like this. It really isn't good, but for the standards, this movie kind of already had very low standards. It wasn't awful, it just wasn't great either, obviously. You guys know what I mean. You all know this probably isn't the best movie, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's not. And the last character I'm going to talk about is her other sort of boyfriend, just one of her longtime friends who kind of has a big crush on her. I thought his character was actually pretty entertaining. He's kind of the goofball in the group, and I don't know, I liked his screen presence. His performance wasn't bad, it was just sort of right down the middle, and he was a pretty enjoyable character to watch on screen. So let's talk about the cinematography. For the most part, that's good. And it is directed pretty well. The action scenes, you can usually always see what's going on. There's one or two where it's a little more difficult, but they usually are actually pretty entertaining, I'll admit that. But I don't think they are choreographed very well. They're really just kind of basic. There's not much to them, and they don't seem to flow very well at some parts. But overall, I thought it was directed pretty well. The action could have been better. There were some good action scenes, but I just felt like they could have been choreographed in a bit better fashion. So, is there anything else really to talk about? The movie kind of had a good sense of humor. I'll give it that too. There were some funny jokes being tossed around, and it was really weird. I was just like, okay. And one other thing I want to mention is this this makeout scene, which was just, oh my god, it was just so fucking random and insane. So her and Jace, Lily Collins and Jace, whatever his name is, they go out to this metal thing in this this cathedral type scholarship. I don't know what I'm trying to explain, but it's this big forest inside of a palace. And they walk up to the thing, and they're about to kiss, and then a bird, like, squawks at them, and they're like, oh, we're not alone, we better go somewhere else. And then it starts pouring, and they are playing the music. They are playing the damn music. And it's just the cheesiest thing I've ever seen. And then it shows this other scene where the guy who has a big crush on her, like, waking up and stumbling out of his bed. And it's got the music going in the rain. And then they run out and they walk out at the same time. And it was the cheesiest, most badass thing I've ever seen in a movie. Best romantic scene of all time. It was just perfect. Oh my god. The amount of cheese was great. I think you should go see the movie just for that. So overall, I didn't think The Mortal Instruments City of Bones was an awful movie. It really just isn't my cup of tea. I know I really didn't share many examples of things I didn't like. I mean, a lot of the performances were pretty bad. The story really didn't keep me, it didn't grasp me. It didn't keep me locked in. It did feel very, very long. I wanted it to end. I was generally entertained with it for the most part, but at a point, I did want it to end. So, I'm going to give the movie 2 out of 5 stars. It definitely isn't the worst movie release this year, but it just obviously isn't a movie for everyone, and it just isn't a great movie. There's some things about it that are worth noting, but overall, I wouldn't recommend checking it out unless you need to go for a date or you want to see that cheesy scene. So this is Luke Mick signing off. Sorry if this video was a little long. Please subscribe, and I will talk to you later.